Hi, everyone. This is Cindy from Dear Mom Reads and Writes. Welcome back if you're returning, and welcome if this is your first time. Dear Mom Reads and Writes is kind of a spin-off of the blog I started about 5 years ago, dearmom.com. There's a video about that. I won't bore you with that right now. So anyway, today we're going to talk about two books. I think that's my new thing, is doing a two-book review. First one is that we're going to talk about is Letters from Constance by Mary Hocking. Hope you can see that. And the second one is a new book, 2025, Nesting by Roisin O'Donnell. And without further ado, let me begin by talking about Letters from Constance by Mary Hocking. This book was published in 1991, and I only read it recently thanks to a booktuber, which I adore this community. That's why we're here. And it's epistolary, so immediately I was curious about it. I love epistolary fiction and nonfiction, and that's what this is. So I think I said this, but it was published in 91. The letters cover the period of 1939 to the 1980s. Two friends, Sheila and Constance, are school friends and stay in touch throughout their lives. Throughout, I guess in the 80s, they would be in their 60s-ish. So yeah, the letters are, Constance is the writer. It's interesting to me that you only see their letters only from Constance in this book. You don't see Sheila's letters, but Constance responds to her letters in her own, and other communications from their phone calls, in-person visits, and etc. And Constance is a witty correspondent, especially in the beginning. I mean, life has a way of changing things. But I'll just read a quick passage because so during the war, they leave school, they're still in touch. World War II is on the horizon. Constance goes to Ireland and work in the Wrens, and Sheila is involved also. I can't remember. Sheila goes to college. I can't remember if it's Oxford or Cambridge, but she's a brilliant poet, so she gets accepted, goes to college, but does her part in the war. But Constance meets, who we don't know yet, she meets someone who becomes very special to her. So this is her letter. It's a long way around the back of Beyond, Connemara, April 1945. She's, of course, writing to her friend Sheila. Dear Sheila, I'm here. Not with the route as you might have imagined, but with an Irish officer I may have casually mentioned in a previous letter. His name is Fergus Byrne. He is 29. I wrinkled that out of a commanding officer. He's tall and has the sort of frame which looks as if it had left space for future development. His hair is soft and reddish and fluffy, and I look at it fondly because I can see it will part company with him sometime in his 30s. It's that kind of hair, and it is already in retreat. I don't think he will look particularly distinguished bald, but he has a good, knobbly sort of face, which will rise above adversity, and the eyes won't change. Blue and tending to look into the far distance, where something of music seems always to be happening. A generous mouth. So that is a snippet of the voice of Constance. These letters cover a long period of life for both of them as we mature, suffer love and loss. Constance marries this Irish officer. I think he's an engineer, a philosopher, really, and has 7 children, egads. And her friend Sheila, poet extraordinaire, meets this man who's this avant-garde, I guess I would say, musician, very creative, and they get married and they have 2 children. And it is a cross-section of their lives over this time period. It covers political things going on besides their own tragedies and joys. Women's roles in particular really, it gives us a window into women's roles changing during that time period. Constance, I guess you would say, for that time period, sort of traditional wife. She doesn't work outside the home, is a homemaker to 7 children. I love the way she describes her children as all individuals. She does that brilliantly. And Sheila, I feel like we just don't really know enough. We know Constance's talking about it, but I did feel like I missed in many places in the book. I missed Sheila's actual voice. Constance has a way of breathing life into hers, but it's not the same. So for that, I was like, why did she write it this way? But it's an interesting way to do it. So I did really like it. I liked Constance. I liked how she reported on their lives over the years and, judged their lives, judged Sheila's life, but predominantly they just loved each other. These two friends loved each other as a friendship that survives all those years. There were ups and downs, difficulties in their lives, big challenges for Constance, a huge challenge. And they both suffer, as we all do, loss. But hope and resilience and friendship. Their friendship survives all these years, and it is a beautiful book. I wouldn't say I adore it because I was missing those Sheila letters. Where are they? But it's a good read. It's an interesting read in that it covers that history as well. And maybe that was at times more interesting to me in thinking about how women's roles have changed, how, we stand on the shoulders of women, other women, including our own mothers, to have the freedoms, some of us, not all of us, or how we live our lives today. So, Letters from Constance, Mary Hocking, give it a go. All right. The next one is, as I mentioned earlier, Nesting by Roisin O'Donnell. I'm so sorry if I've mispronounced that. This is 2025. It is a debut novel, and it's brilliant. There is a trigger warning with this one because what is this novel about? It is about a woman with her 2 daughters, aged 2 and 4, who leaves her emotionally abusive husband. So if that's a trigger, please don't read it. But if it's not, wow, it's a day-by-day accounting of this woman's life and struggle to keep herself and her children afloat. Oh, in addition, she's pregnant. And she lives in Ireland. Her name is Ciara. It's spelled Ciara. Again, I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but Ciara takes her 2 daughters, no money, no job, or a job that's ending, and it is even though it's day by day, you would think that maybe that would slow it down, but this reads like a thriller. Like, I couldn't put this book down other than having to work and sleep. So I read it in 3 days, and that's only because I had to work and sleep. So it reads like a thriller. I just couldn't wait to find out what was going to happen next with this family. She is so courageous, and I just can't imagine going through that. And we know that too many women do. But I think the telling of this story is so needed in our culture. The more we can talk about, shed light on these things, maybe things will improve. It sheds light on our housing system, our emergency shelter system, and the success and failures of those programs. This takes place, in Ireland, but certainly in the US, and I can't imagine elsewhere, there are similar challenges. But this day-to-day story, it's an emotional ride. I've said this already, but so beautifully written. The author researched this extensively with professionals in social work and housing authorities and others. And so she did a brilliant job to me. I don't know that life, but I felt like I was in that life. And this woman, in trying to normalize this world for her two daughters, I mean, they're eating granola bars, they're staying in a hotel that every day they have to go and request and go through all kinds of red tape to even get this room in a hotel. And there's a whole community of people in transit situations. And there's a family that happens. There's community that occurs. There's support, emotional support, friendship, and the "we are not alone, you are not alone" thing that happens. And friendship and kindness is found in unlikely places, not from her not from her husband, of course, who the entire time we're reading the story unfold about Kira and her daughters, he's doing everything he can to undermine that and to get her back. And that push and pull, that tension, it's still like, this book stayed with me for several days at least afterwards, because I thought, how many women right this second are going through this? And I hope, and maybe this would be too hard for someone in that situation to read, but it certainly helped me empathize and just open my eyes to what astounding courage it takes to do what this character in this protagonist in this novel does. So it's ups and downs, it's every day, it's forward and backward, and there is hope. There is hope in this book, but I can't say more about it. Let me just check my notes to see if I could say more about it. I just want to read the author in her acknowledgments wrote this beautiful passage, and I can't add to this. It's so well done. So, to every person sleeping in an emergency accommodation tonight, in particular the 4,027 children. This was written in February 2024. To those in family hubs, hostels, hotels, and refugees, and those sleeping in friends' spare rooms and on sofas hidden from official statistics. To anyone trapped in a place that does not feel like home, and anyone who has ever been asked the question, why don't you just leave? This book is for you. So I leave it there. Two really great books. This one, 10 stars. This one, Letters from Constance, I would give it 4 because of the missing Sheila letters. That's the part that I can't give it 5. So I look forward to your comments. Thanks again for watching. If you've read either of these, if you do read them, I'd love to know what you think of these books, and yeah, let me know. And I look forward to reading them. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. I hope these videos, I'm hoping to drop one every Monday at 5. And I already know what next week's is going to be, but I'll keep that a secret until then. And I'll see you soon. All right. Bye now. See you then.